You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton, here, hanging with you guys, and good morning. Well, it is actually like 1 a.m. East Coast time, midnight, 12:07 on the dot, Central time. Joined all the way down in beautiful here, Dallas, Texas, at the LMN Masterminds, the first one of 4 that Mark Bradley and the LMN team is putting together this fall. Really quick, not an LMN pitch. I'm just going to tell you guys straight up. Having a ball over here, learning from some of the best in the business at the Masterminds. And again, I really encourage you guys to check this thing out. There's a couple seats left at the Boston one. There's a couple at the Chicago one. I think Detroit might be sold out, but blow up the LMN Instagram, and I'm sure somebody will get you a seat. Mention Brian25, or I think if you go to the website and punch in the code Brian25 at golmn.com, you'll save 25% on your ticket. Not a pitch on anything LMN. I'm just telling you guys straight up. I don't want to talk about LMN on this podcast episode, for example, in a pitch fashion. It's just that's the software that Mark Bradley used to grow a very successful lawn landscaping company. And that's really what the Masterminds are all about. These are basically 2-day intensive trainings about getting the manual from Mark Bradley himself about how he grew his company and the different revenue rungs from 0 to $1 million, million to 3, 3 to 5, and then 5 to 10, I think it was, 10 million to 20 or maybe even 30, and then 30 to 100 million. I mean, literally giving away the manual. I have another workbook here. I mean, I had the same one, or a different one, I should say, but a same manual from last year's LMN Masterminds, and I think I, no joke, took about 10 pages of notes. My brain's absolute mush, still from last year, if you will, if you know what I'm saying. A lot to work on as we continue to grow. But again, I'm flipping through this thing right now. 1, 2, 3, and then I have a bunch of just sporadic notes on page 4 and 5. Holy cow, another 3, 4, 5 pages of notes. And what a phenomenal time. So I thought I'd just kind of share a couple of these points and maybe just some things that stood out for me on the very first day here at the Masterminds. Again, we're going to be joining Mark and the rest of the whole crew, about probably a good 75 maybe people here down in Dallas. And we're going to be sharing about all of this again tomorrow. I actually had the rare privilege to be able to pour into it and share as well. And my younger brother, Adam, actually came on down. We came as quote-unquote branded bull and just kind of talked about sales, marketing, and branding, and just had a quick little 30-minute plug. It was just fantastic opportunity to pour into the event. Not here to sell or pitch or anything, of course. We never do that here. But if we can help out anybody with marketing and branding and websites, SEO, and so much more, then hey, pick up the phone, go to my brother Adam and his business partner Lauren. They're fantastic people with Branded Bull. So many of you guys have actually been reaching out for a website and all this stuff. It's just phenomenal to see your guys' love and support of their business. And dude, they're delivering too. That's the best part. They're delivering great quality websites and so much more. But like I said, was able to pour into the event, just talk marketing, branding. What a great group of folks here, by the way, down in Dallas. You guys got some sharp folks. Some great guys were in the room. One guy's doing 16 million, a couple people with 2, 4, 5 millions. One guy had $165 million business, by the way, from Australia. You heard me right, not 1.6, 165 million from Australia. He probably needs to work on his website a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just kidding. But it's just a phenomenal group, a phenomenal time, a phenomenal conversation. And your boy here has been able to hang out with Mark Bradley for probably, 3 or 4 actual one-on-one hours, quote unquote. So as you can imagine, my mind is absolutely fried. It's having a nuclear meltdown at this point. I've learned more about life and business and success in the last 4 hours than I, feel like you have sometimes in years. And I'm now here in the hotel room at 1 o'clock in the morning almost doing a podcast. And I'm like, how do I articulate the words of Mark Bradley to share out to the world about how this dude has become so successful? And it's a wild conundrum. Okay. So I'm going to do my best. Of course I'm going to come up short, like we normally do, because I'm just a man. I'm just another landscaper guy out there, just like so many of you guys. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm not John Maxwell, excellent, over here, communicator. So all I'm going to do is just kind of maybe share a couple notes with you guys and just tell you, and maybe just even encourage you, please go to the nearest LMN Mastermind if you can. For real, for real, for real. Let me back up, actually, if you guys don't mind. Some people are like, well, is this going to be about LMN, at the masterminds? And on the honest, 100% candid answer, and if I say it's not, and it's not, because it isn't, and it is, and you go and you find out that it is, you call me, I'll give you $500 cash, because there's nothing there about LMN. It's the manual that Mark used to grow a successful landscape company to $50+ million. Oh, by the way, they used LMN software to get there. Okay, but that's not what the whole presentation is about. I'll give you guys a funny story, really, really quick even. My trailer dealer partner, SureTrack, Kelly and Sons, a lot of you guys know Tim and Sue, fantastic people. Sue called me 2 days ago, I think it was. We were talking about some stuff post LAL. Just a phenomenal time there. Had 300+ people just rocking and rolling. And Sue calls me. We were talking logistics on something. Actually, I needed a new jack. For the old trailer. Go figure. And she said, hey, by the way, not sure if this is cool or not, but I actually registered for Mark Bradley's LMN Mastermind session in Detroit. Do you think it's okay if we come? Her and a couple of people on her team. And I said, yeah. I said, fantastic. And then she goes, now shoot me straight. Is it about software? Is it about lawn care? Or is it about business and success? And I said 100% or 98% is going to be about business and success. And she got all fired up, all giddy. If you guys know Sue, she's like a second or third mom for us, right? Like she is just a sweetheart. And she's fired up to come up to the seminar because they have a multi-million-dollar business. Granted, they're selling trailers and, service and maintenance. But she's fired up about coming up to the LMN Mastermind Summit in Detroit. And I said, Sue, not only would it be phenomenal to see you there, but if you want to learn about growing a more successful business, this is where it's at. And she said, well, honey, as you can imagine, Tim and I are getting a little bit older. We're looking to step away from the business. The sons are taking it over, i.e. the Kelly and Sons, Ryan, Steven, and so much more. So they're looking at different systems and strategies, of course, of what they do, what they're going to grow into, and how to keep the company going for the second generation, right? And I said, this will literally apply to exactly your guys' business as well, because it's, okay, switch out lawn care to, selling trailers, and it's the exact same conversation. Maybe a little bit of nuance here and there different, but it is the exact same conversation about growing and scaling a larger business. And so if it's good enough for me, to promote it to Sue and Tim, if I believe Adam should be here to pour into the audience, not to generate leads and sales, okay, hopefully that comes from it. We can be a partner, and we can say, hey, if you need some help with this in the off season, holler. Okay, but it's not why we came on down here, okay? If Adam can leave a 3-week-old baby, come pour into the audience, take a day trip to go back home, and just make it that much worth it for him as well to come on down and just pour into the audience, like that's where all of our heart is. Adam loves you guys. Adam and Lauren both love you guys. I love getting around this environment and helping people. I have nothing to sell here. I'm just trying to evangelize, saying, holy cow, if you want to drink the LMN Kool-Aid, fantastic. And if you don't, that's fine. Just come check out Mark and we'll hear what he has to say. And, whether you're doing 50 grand in business, 100 grand in business, 500 grand in business, $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, there's absolutely something here for everybody. Not only from, quote unquote, the stage or hearing from Mark share at the workshop, but also from the peers that you get to network with. I've had no less than 24 phenomenal conversations while I've been here, made tons of friends, looked at a couple opportunities for some shop tours, even with some guys that have watched the YouTube channel and did recognize me, which is fantastic. And so it's all about networking. And so I just want to encourage you guys, maybe a soft plug here for the masterminds, not necessarily LMN, although I will just mention really quick, the Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale is live. So reach out to the LMN team, mention our code, that stuff will stack and you'll get the best deals of the year. I had a couple of people actually reach out and ask if we have anything about it. And I said, no, the Black Friday sale right now is the best sale you're going to get probably from now through the end of the year. Okay, so a quick little mention there if you do want to sign up.
You're probably listening to this podcast because you want to get better at the business of lawn care. If you have made the decision to go all in, then the whole ball of wax at LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com is the fastest route to starting strong and putting your company in the best position for success. The whole ball of wax is everything Brian Fullerton offers. with a few exceptions, at less than half the price of purchasing every training course, program, and resource individually. When you purchase the whole ball of wax, not only do you get instant access to everything on the site, along with a one-on-one coaching call with Brian, you get lifetime updates to all courses, and when new programs come online, those are yours for free. Pause the podcast, go to L'Entrepreneur-Academy.com, click on the store tab, or use the link in the podcast description.
If you've been on the fence about grabbing the whole ball of wax at L'Entrepreneur Academy, here's your opportunity. Get $400 off by using the code SAVE400. This bundle is packed with everything Brian wishes he'd known starting out, and tools he still uses today to grow and run the business. If you're looking to level up, now is a great time to check it out. Remember to use code SAVE400 at checkout. A link is in the description.
What does good look like for your company? Can I share a couple quick topics with you guys? What does good look like for your company? I thought that was a phenomenal, quick little takeaway, because you have to be able to measure things in your company. And if your team members don't know what good or success or an accomplishment looks like, how can they ever hit it, right? So it comes down to training. Let's see here. There's some really great stuff. Create an integrated life. This was another fantastic bullet point that Mark talked about for about 5 to 10 minutes, talking about how you don't really separate business and life. You just kind of combine both. You integrate both, and then you find a harmonious balance between running both at the same time. And how many times have you guys heard me talk about counterbalance or just having a blended, life and business? I mean, that's pretty obvious. Eliminate, automate, and delegate. Mark talked about that for about 5 or 6 minutes, maybe in 10 minutes, which was phenomenal. Anything you can eliminate, automate, or delegate in your business. Actually, I think I did a podcast on that exact topic, probably around January, February, March last year, coming off the heels of hanging with Mark from the Masterminds last year. Phenomenal half-hour podcast. Mark said, quick nugget, and I have 3.5 pages of notes. I'm just trying to give you guys some of these things. Profit is investment capital for growth. That was a phenomenal nugget. Mark ranted about this for 15 minutes. Profit is an investment capital for growth. Profit is investment capital for growth. And he said, if your company does, I believe the number was 15%, greater than 15%, you're welcome to pull some out of your business for profit. Now, don't take this as law. There's a lot of context here, but short story long, he said, if your company is doing over 15%, you're welcome to take some of it out, but you're going to need that 15% net profit that's left over to reinvest for the growth of your business for the following year. And so let's say you did, $75,000 in true net profit, and it's 15%, and I don't know what the gross is on that. Maybe let's say $500,000, whatever, it doesn't matter. 750,000, or maybe even $1 million. I guess 15% on $1 million would be 10% is $100,000. So there you go. Okay, so maybe you had $1 million business, $75,000 left over. Okay, and he said, like, let's say, for example, and he didn't say this part, but let's say you want to do 1.5 next year. Well, you're going to need that 75,000 to reinvest into trucks, equipment, training, education, payroll, so on and so forth, right? And it was just a phenomenal conversation because, excuse me, there was a guy at the table that had a $16 million company, and he said, like, what should you actually be paying yourself? And Mark had a great response, and he said, well, we reinvested every single thing we could. I paid myself an appropriate salary and wage and income that was supporting my lifestyle. But after that, I was building enterprise value in my company, right? And so what that means, just in layman's term, instead of taking all the money out and going buying dumb crap or even reinvesting into other things, Mark would just take a nominal salary, let's say a couple $100,000 a year from the companies. And he was going a very large and successful company, but he grew the company with all the profit that was left over and just continued to scale and leverage against it. So all the profit that they had, he just continued to reinvest in the business. And that was actually a really good question from a gentleman doing $16 million per year with his business, going to 20 in a jiff. And it was actually a great conversation as well, because I told Mark, I said, well, look, my salaries are pretty much meeting my needs. Like, we're good to go naturally. I said, so what do I do with the leftover money? And Mark's like, reinvest and grow enterprise value as you scale. And I said, that sounds phenomenal. And equity, enterprise value, meaning keep reinvesting in the business, grow it, scale it, And eventually, you can sell it 5, 10, 20 years down the road. And all that compounded growth and equity will still be available to you to pull out long term. I thought that was a phenomenal quick question or a quick point that so many people have asked about. What do you do with profit? How much should you pay yourself? It was just a really good conversation there. This was a phenomenal point. And maybe I'll just leave it here for tonight, just 4 or 5 quick nuggets, unless I can read through some of my chicken scratch here quickly. But this was a topic of working with your employees in communication. And he said they had a whiteboard on the wall, and it said the number one thing, there's 2 things for the whiteboard: asking your team for flow interruptions, and then the second thing is constantly showing them how much you care. He said, so that's the whole crux of the business, is asking your team what's workflow interruptions and communicating to them as much as possible how much you care. And so that's why you have a whiteboard. That's why you have a brag on people section. That's all this stuff. And he said, that's the business. He's like, you have to ask your team, what do they need? And then tell them how much you appreciate and love them. And he went on for 15 or 20 minutes on this conversation, but I put a big star: ask for flow interruptions and show how much you care. And it was a phenomenal conversation. I mean, each one of these points are about 20-minute segments and rants that were just, I don't know if it's just philosophical or beyond, philosophical and practical, of course, as well, naturally, but it just reframed my thought process. Okay. Mark broke down 2 companies, and you guys have probably seen the slide before about $1 million company, 1,500 hours. The average wage is, I don't know, $25 an hour. The average profit's, 10%. And that company makes $100,000 versus a company that does 1.75 million. The average revenue per hour is 150, over 1,500 hours, 10 employees, 30% gross margin, 17.5 true net profit. The company makes 250,000 and wages are up, 25% over the other company. Fantastic slide, right? Well, Mark broke down like the exact sales percentage, wages percentage, equipment percentage, material cost percentage, cost of goods sold, i.e. your direct cost, the overhead, and then how the true net profit worked. And he discussed for about 10 to 15 minutes perspective on teaching this to your company about and teaching your employees about how a company actually works, so they're all on the same team and mission about creating a very lean and efficient and profitable company. And with that, wages are going to be able to go through the roof. And so the analogy he said was, if we take that same, instead of $100 per man hour generated, and we switched it to $150 per man hour, and you had the same percentages, the wages went up something like 25%, because everybody's more efficient and everybody's more lean and everybody's more productive. And it was just a glaring conversation right in front of your face about why you should invest into your company, why you should invest into training, why you should invest into good equipment. And not only that, teach and train your folks about how the company actually works. And not only will they get paid more, there'll be more net profit left over to reinvest for future company growth. And that was new trucks, new equipment, health insurance, retirement, 401k, and so much more. Okay. Like, these are 4 or 5 bullet points amongst 3.5 pages that we took in one 8-hour session, 7-hour session with a lunch, 6-hour session maybe with a lunch. Okay. Wins, wants, working. I was talking to Rory Kendall, that he goes, no, Rory with Patriot Lawn Specialist. And him and I were sharing our wins, our working, and our wants. It was a phenomenal conversation. We were just talking. Got to see Tab Pauly over here with the TNT, I think it is, right? Lawn and Landscape. They're out of Jenks, Oklahoma. They made the trek down with Rory. Got to see so many great folks, so many great faces that I've seen at conferences, Equip, LAL, just, folks I've done one-on-one calls with, Zooms with, people that are part of Link. Like, it's just so cool to see familiar folks, right? These are 4 or 5 different topics that, folks, I don't even know what the heck is going on. Like, my brain is fried. I'm just like, the way I'm thinking right now is just elevated. That's the only way I can describe it. It's elevated. And I'm like, what, for a couple of $100, a plane ticket to come out? We paid our own way. Mark wasn't like, hey, come down and sell websites. Adam and I paid our own way. I don't know. We probably have we're staying at the W. We got a room block rate, but $300 a night, let's say, times 2, 6, and then you had taxes. It's $6,000. One of my life rants is like the taxes and fees on hotels. By the way, if you ever like look at your itemized line item on your invoice, it's like $249 for a night for a hotel. So 2 nights, $500, right? Then you had taxes and fees and it's $700. And you're like, what just happened? 25% tax on rooms. And it doesn't make any sense to me, but I digress. But I mean, Adam and I are probably, and plus you had plane tickets, we're probably $1,500 into this trip. We paid our own way. And I gladly do it. What a phenomenal conversation. What a phenomenal time. What a phenomenal opportunity to network. And so, again, I don't want to like go long. I don't want to make a pitch here on anything. I just want to tell you guys, one, I'm fired up. Number two, I'm excited. Number three, I hope to bring some more great thoughts. I wrote down about 3 or 4 different topics already for podcast episode ideas, just hearing from this whole conversation. Just today, I'm sure going to have a lot more tomorrow after we have another 8-hour session and my brain goes from, mush to liquid goo, whatever's the next state of liquid. Hopefully it doesn't seep out of my brain. And this is like 4 or 5 bullet points that I've just shared with you that I think are just solid gold nuggets that could help your business grow, right? And again, I got 3 more pages of this stuff. Okay, and that's outside of the stuff I already learned last year and I implemented in the spring, February, March, April, mission statement, vision statement, SMART goals, all this mess that we've already done before. I mean, Mark talked about customer profiles, about how to sell, how to reach out to decision makers, 25 different customer profiles. He talked a little bit about Leanscaper, his new software that he's coming out with November, I think 15th. So stay tuned to that. I'm sure there'll be some super exciting announcements. Go to leanscaper.com if you want to check it out. I have no information nothing about what Mark's putting together other than not to let the cat out of the bag. It's his story to tell. He has shared about it a couple times publicly. But he did sell off LMN just a week ago. He also got engaged, by the way. So maybe blow him up on Instagram. Say congrats. Mark Bradley 360, I think, is his personal Instagram. I mean, the dude's riding a high right now, right? And so he's looking to build another software company called Leanscaper. And really, that's a software that's going to integrate with your business and with LMN. That is what's the best way to say it? It's the roadmap on how to grow and scale a business. And really his focus is on the guys between $500,000 to $2 million. Now, again, you can use that same system to grow to 2, 5, 10, 20 million for sure, 100%. But Mark's got a huge passion and mission right now to help the small, medium guys to go from, zero, maybe $300,000, $500,000, $800,000 your businesses to $500,000 to $1 million, $2 million, and so on and so forth. And that's right where I'm at. I'm dancing and, stepping to that tune. I'm marching to that tune myself. And so go to leanscaper.com, click the newsletter, click the register, click the subscribe, whatever it is. There's no cost. There's nothing for sale. It's just a website placeholder. He's going to be launching that in about 2 weeks, but go flood that thing, go punch in and go check it out. I literally hit the registered website just a little bit ago myself because I want to make sure I'm getting notified on everything. And so that's where the dude's passion is. He's very, very excited. He's very, very motivated. He's feeling very, very philanthropic too, which always helps. And I will sing his praises from here until otherwise. And so I just wanted to share a couple quick notes tonight. What a phenomenal time. So many great conversations from so many great folks. Actually, I saw a couple guys actually signing up for LMN using our code, and you can still use it at the event. It's fine. Tab signed up. We had 1 or 2 other guys sign up here. Oh man, there's a couple of people are slipping my brain right now. It's 1:00 in the morning, but any which way, if you want to sign up for an LMN, fantastic. If you don't, fantastic. But get around people that are passionate about training, education, and pouring it out there to help you guys grow. All right. All things being said, go LMN.com. You can check out the masterminds. You can register. You can use our code to sign up. And if you do, great. If you don't, no big deal. If you are going to the mastermind, shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'd love to connect. I'd love to go out to dinner, maybe the night before, the night after. No promises. I do have a lot of people asking if we can go out to dinner. So I'm down. I love to hang, of course. We're nobody special. I'm honored that you guys would even ask to hang out with me. And I mean that sincerely. But if we have 50 people that want to go out, it might be tough. So if I do stiff arm and say, I apologize, I can't, it's only because I've probably committed to 10 people and we're going to go as a group to whatever's the local watering hole. Amen. So that being said, I'm super pumped up about these. The masterminds in no particular order. I think we go to maybe Chicago, then we go to Boston, and then I think maybe Detroit. Don't hold that to me, but check out golmn.com for the masterminds. And for real, I hope to see you guys there. Really quick, Brian25 saves 25%, I believe, on the ticket. I hope it still works. If it doesn't, shoot me a DM. We'll figure it out. But that will save you some money on the registration ticket. The best couple $100 you'll spend on a hotel and a registration ticket. All right. So any which way, business growth transformation. I'm flipping through this book. I mean, I've got notes over notes over notes. Continuous improvement board. 5 S's: sort, set in order, shine, standardize, sustain, lean, more work done with less time. 5 steps one way is actually 4 times the amount of work. And all these analogies will make sense if you guys go to the class. Breaking down profit. Wins working in wants. Oh my gosh. Folks, my brain is fried. The rules of engagement matter. They dictate the outcome. He's talking about picking up new commercial accounts, industrial accounts, municipal accounts, changing the rules of engagement. That way he has a more favorable desired outcome. I was all about that conversation. How does common sense, where does common sense comes from? It comes from metrics and systems inside of your business. Let's see, the system evolved as a company evolved. Oh my God, Mark talked about just tips and suggestions about how the company continued to scale and processes changed as well. He shared a story about how one system alone changed and saved the company $15,000 a day. $15,000 a day with one employee suggestion. In fact, he also talked about bonuses and compensation to team members for ideas like that. And he said he had one of his employees had 10, I think a family of 10 that he sent on vacation for 3 weeks. One employee was able to bring 10 of his family members, and Mark sent them on vacation for 3 weeks. That's how wealthy the idea was. That's how good of an idea was that the guy implemented into the Mark's $50 million company, or close to it at the time, right on a growth curve. And that's how much money that guy saved that company with that idea. And Mark rewarded him with that trip and for his family for 3 weeks. So, I mean, I don't know what the dollars and cents on that, is and what it saved, but you guys can imagine it was a pretty hefty idea. And just the whole thought process of how you can work together with your team to be more lean, more efficient, more effective. And at the end of the day, isn't that what it's all about? So that's where we're going to leave you guys today. This is a wild, wacky Friday night episode, or Thursday night episode and Friday morning show. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. It's just something a little bit different. I'm sure you guys got screaming leaf blowers on your back, so hopefully you guys can hear my voice over the Red Max 9000s going crazy, or your Billy Goats and your windstorms that are just, kicking butt with leaves. The guys have been sending me all day photos and videos. We're getting all of our leaf cleanups done, and I hope we get them done in 2 weeks in a jiff. The weather has been flawless up in here in Michigan. 50 degrees, 60 degrees, sunny days, dry leaves. We're just crushing it right now. I hope it's all systems go. In a week, we pick up another salter. In a week, I move my camper out of the ground and hopefully get it serviced and warranted and then for sale. We moved into the house over the last couple of days, two days to unpack as much as we could. And then I was on a plane to Texas for 3 days, right? Life is crazy. Life is busy. We got 3 more masterminds to go between now and the first week of December. I mean, it is a absolute wild time and dropping the hammer, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And I'm sure you guys feel the exact same way. All right. That's all I got for you guys tonight. I'm going to upload this to Mr. Producer. Shout out to Mr. Producer, by the way, who probably likely got up at 5 or 6 a.m. to get this up to you guys in a timely fashion. Thank you, Mr. Producer. We couldn't do it without you. If you guys have any questions on the Leanscaper thing, if you guys have any questions on LMN, if you guys have any questions on the Masterminds or the whole ball of wax sale or anything that we got going on, please don't hesitate to reach out. All right. I just want to be a resource for you guys. I want to be available for you. Absolutely been just humbled and grateful and thankful to be where we're at in life. I told my wife, I'm like, where are we right now? How are we this quote unquote far, but also we have so far to go. Like I randomly met Mark like 2 years ago and he was at LAL and then LAL again. And now for the third time, I'm like, you know, getting to hang out with so many great folks like Tab and Rory and Josh and Chase and all these great dudes down here. And I'm like, folks, my heart is just heavy and I'm just so thankful and excited to be on this journey with all of you guys. I'm excited about getting back home and taking our company from, you know, low fours that we're going to do in revenue for 2024 to, you know, $1 million plus in 2025 and so much more after that. Amen. So guys, that's where I'm going to leave it tonight. That's where I'm going to leave it today. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you're having your best days ever, your best profit ever. I hope you're having a solid tail end finish to Q4 2024. And let's just keep the hammer down. Do me a solid, though. Make sure you take a day or two for yourselves and check out one of those remaining masterminds somewhere in the country near you. All right, over and out, guys. Go to leanscaper.com. Get on that registration waiting list as well. And that's where I'll button it up tonight. Over and out, guys. Have a great night, and we'll catch up with all of you here on the next one.
We have included a link for the masterminds in the show description, and don't forget to mention code Brian to get the best offer available as you sign up with their Black Friday Cyber Monday promotion.
Before you turn off the podcast, there are two things that we believe you will be highly interested in. First, if you're looking to stay up to date with the latest trends and insights in the world of lawn care, then you'll want to subscribe to our free email newsletter. It shows up in your inbox 3 times a week and includes a Monday motivational to kick off your week, a Wednesday what's new to keep you informed, and a Friday weekly recap of all the content we put out. The second thing is we have just launched Lawntrepreneur Academy Link. Now you can be a part of an exclusive community that links you to those who can help you grow in your lawn care business. Joining Lawntrepreneur Link will give you the tools that you need to stay accountable, get real-time expert advice, and find belonging in a community of folks who are passionate about the lawn care industry just like you. Visit LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com to learn how Link membership gives you unique access to monthly hangouts, bidding hour calls, coaching calls, expert lessons, and more. Stay ahead of the curve and level up your business with a membership to the Lawntrepreneur Academy Link. Find an easy-to-use link in the podcast description.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.